See if anybody shows up because it is Visual Thursdays with Anime Fan Arcade 2K. Play more Katawa Shoujo. Starting now, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Boop. Where we load our most recent save and lose all music. Happens. Continuing this treat. I'm looking forward to it. It feels so weird. I'm like, I don't have a Fruit of Grisaya looming on Monday. Well, I do, but not the one I thought. Anyway, my morning alarm goes off, and I flail about uselessly for a while until I remember that I decided to give morning runs another shot. I don't know if this was my greatest idea, but I'm determined to keep going. It's about my health, after all. Sure, things haven't been great lately for me. That hasn't made existence so intolerable that I'm not going to try everything I can to stay healthy. Besides, it's all about asserting some kind of control over things, right? If I can manage that, well, I can manage anything. Just heard my iPad go off telling me that I'm live. Thanks for telling me a minute late. Dashboard. At least that's what I keep telling myself. Once again, it would appear that I'm not alone in my run. Welcome, King. Grinding on RuneScape. It seems that that's the only thing you're doing. Emmy has apparently been here for some time. Looks like she's already worked up a good sweat. Just when the hell does she come down here anyway? I forgot my voices. Shoot! Brain! Shade, you're not here? Fair. What was Emmy's voice? She's like the normal voice? Like, oh, it's you. I'm surprised to see you again. Why's that? Well, not many people actually manage to come back for a second try. She frowned, seemingly annoyed by a passing thought. Like the rest of the track team, for instance. What? The entire team just like, yeah, we're done. I know we're track. We're not running track. So I keep you occupied till Smash? Fair. I'll look forward to next week when hopefully I'll be live streaming 7 p.m. on the dot on Friday for the release day. I have to get that thumbnail ready, actually. I actually got wallpapers and stuff ready to actually make my live stream thumbnail for it. So I will make an event on the Facebooks and then post it in my social media and stuff. Anyway, still, it was only supposed to be on a volunteer basis, so it's not that big of a shock. And I guess it's pretty early in the morning. A shrug, and suddenly appears that she's forgotten what she was talking about. The frown disappears entirely, and she seems to snap back to her previous train of thought. So, come on then. What? You're here to run again, right? Well, yes. Don't worry, man. I'm gonna be live streaming Adventure Mode. From what little I know of it, the World of Light Adventure Mode's pretty long. So I'm gonna live stream as long as humanly possible for me. Hell, if I have to go 24 hours, I'll go 24 hours if I have to, man. I'm gonna try to beat it, but I don't think it's... Yeah, I hear it's not a one-sitting thing, so... With that said, though, I hear it's a good way to unlock characters and whatnot, so I'm looking forward to that. Hey, how's it going, Savage Neo? Welcome. Well, yes. So, come on. You like anime? I like anime? Yes. I'm a fan, if I do say so myself. An anime fan. So, come on. Find myself suddenly grabbed and yanked onto the track. Man, if I had Emmy bring me onto the track every morning, I would run every freaking day. Actually, I should start running again. I'm like not losing enough weight. You're waiting to get it yourself, Shade? I mean, it's gonna be in the evening, so unless you just don't want any spoilers until you get it yourself. I don't know. Maybe I'll maybe you'll get it and I'll still be playing. Things seem to be set on mirroring yesterday's run. That is, I seem to be struggling while Emmy moves with an effortlessness that I find enviable. It's incredibly bothersome to be so easily worn out. I know I should be patient, work toward things gradually, but it's difficult to stay positive about this. I mean, I don't play Yu-Gi-Oh, so that's not going to happen. We round the track and start on our second lap. Emmy seems to have grown impatient keeping pace with me and begins to pull away. This is where I gave out yesterday. Will I be able to do more? Oh shoot. Where's my Where's my Tom? I'm missing a Tom. Alright, well, we're going to drop a save, because that's what we do. Right on top of that. And we're going to Lily route, so I believe we take it easy. Oh, hey Tom, here you are! Just as I found my answer myself. Just after Google Senpai. Dude, I don't play Buddy Fight either. You guys play these weird card games. Says the guy who plays Card Fight Vanguard and White Shorts, but whatever. I let Emmy go with her own pace. She doesn't show mercy, pulling half a lap ahead of me in an instant. I don't blame her. I mean, it's not as if I'm really putting up any sort of real fight out here, is it? Instead, I'm just running at a steady pace, which is what I should be doing, right? There's no need to go pushing my limits at this stage of the game. God, is this even worth it? How dare you replace me? I'm sorry, Tom. I should have not tried to replace you with Google Senpai. Guys, clearly the best card game is the one card game. As we finish the second lap, I break off again. Emmy keeps going, and it almost seems to me that she's disappointed. Well, that's stupid. I mean, he has a sword, King. Tom could choose to show up whenever he feels like. That's what it means to be a moderator. I choose my moderators very well, too. Tom, different time zone. Uni, different time zone. Meth, currently in classes, so can't even moderate. Excellent moderation choices on my end. Oh well. I don't have anything to prove to her, come to think of it. I've got nothing to prove to myself either. Hey, you like Bakugan? Fair. White versus best card game? Jeez. We're just you know what, guys? Best card game is I have to think of a funny one. I don't have a funny one. Oh, Force of Will. There you go. Force of Will TCG. That's good art. I'm just fine the way I am. And what I'm not is a runner. Shade only on YouTube. Very fair. You are especially needed there, Shade, for Grisaya related reasons. This is probably a bad idea. Maybe there's something else I can do instead of this. Getting up this early sucks anyway. There's got to be some way to keep healthy. Walking maybe? Nice afternoon walks. You forcible. There you go. That's the reaction I wanted. Luck and Logic's dead in North America. So I can't even say that anymore. Which is bad. Be the mod for Smash King. Will I even have mods the day Smash releases? I don't even know. I'll be awake. Yo, I bet my mods will be waking up in Europe. My European mods will be waking up to moderate if I go long enough. It's dead here? Fair. Yeah, that sounds good. Running isn't for me. I wave to Emmy and head back to my room. I'll think of something else later. Yo, keep with running, man. Running's good. So, just because he has a congenital heart disease. Actually, that's a very good reason to not be overworking yourself. So, if you have a congenital heart disease, I apologize if I offended you. I don't mean it. I literally tell jokes in poor taste. And bad jokes in general. Might explain why I have such a small viewer base. What? Back in my room, the first thing I see is the familiar row of medication bottles lined up on top of my dresser. It makes me depressed, as usual. You know what makes me depressed? I look at my bank account every day. I don't have money, guys. Running is good, especially when you nearly die because of it. Tom, that's the reason why you shouldn't be running. Take nice walks. What would Alucard do? Enthusiastic walks. It's annoying. I thought I was okay. I thought I made my peace with this thing, gotten over it. What I really did, I allowed myself to forget that I have a problem. Being here really reminds me of the reality, and trying to fight against it just hurts. Yeah, you have to accept, man. Acceptance is important. Accept yourself. Who went offline? See, reflecting on it is only going to do so much. I've done this before, for months. It seems like it's time to get over it. Who went offline? Shade. If I allow myself to forget that my life is definitely not going to be as long as those of others, I won't get anywhere. It says I'm offline. I mean, it might be because I'm not on Twitch itself, because I'm on Streamlabs. But no, I should be on. I should be live at least. Yeah, I should still be streaming, even though I might not show up. I don't show up online on Twitch. If it just says my status is offline, but okay, refresh, Shade, refresh. Let's go. Refresh. Yeah. If my status is set to offline, that's fine. As long as my stream is still streaming. Restart the app? Okay. If I allow myself to forget that my life is definitely not going to be as long as those of others, I won't get anywhere. My life may be different from others, but it is a life in progress. That is how I'll rationalize it. That's a good way to look at it. Remember, life isn't over. It's just ongoing. I downed the usual handful of pills, trying to push the sudden dreary feeling out of my head. Then I prepared to head out to class early, as usual. As I stepped into the hallway, I noticed Kenji coming around the hallway corner, stealthily making his way over to his own room with a large bag. As he sneaks past me soundlessly, not like a ninja hiding in plain sight, I call out to him and scare him. Hey! He jumps at the sound of my voice, and they instantly start playing his theme. Oh! Hey man, I didn't notice you there. I'm really tired. I think it's more like he didn't see me, but that's not the issue. Discord disconnects Katawa Shoujo. Oh man, I feel so disabled. Where have you been? Where have you been this early? Shopping? Nah, I wasn't shopping. Sometimes I have to visit the math teacher. Yeah, I figured it would be a good idea to find out when the next exam is, since he tells you in advance if you want. So then what's in the bag? I thought I'd go shopping while I was outside. I need supplies to continue to fight against the vast feminist conspiracy. Okay. Thought you didn't go outside. I wear a hat now. What? Where's his hat? Oh, okay. I decided to not point out that he's not wearing a hat. Alright, fair. An awkward silence settles between us. Then Kenji breaks it by pushing his door open slowly, releasing a creaking sound into the air that only makes the moment seem more awkward. He sets the bag down inside his room, then closes the door. Surprised you went out of your way to find out a test date. Trying to take advantage of an opportunity to study is pretty diligent. I never study. Oh. I just wanted to know when the next test day was. I'm still going to take it, duh. I need to know so I know what day I can't afford to skip class. He usually sends out updates on that crap by phone, so I had to step out and check up on it. Why do you have to go out when you can get it on your phone? I don't carry a phone. What do you mean you don't carry a phone? You mean you just leave it at home? Nah, I don't use phones. I don't have a phone. Phones. I have no phone. Why don't you have a phone? How can you not have a phone? No phone at all? No phone? I just don't like phones. Actually, I'm kind of scared of them. I don't know why. I think it's some kind of repressed trauma. But basically, when I hear a phone, I get nervous. It's my darkest secret. I have two theories on it. Either I have some fear of receiving some undefined, ominous, life-altering doom call, or I was beaten with a phone in the past. Beaten so badly I can't remember it. Beaten in the head. Well, where else could I get beaten with a phone that would make me unable to remember it? The ass? They beat my ass with a phone? Unexpectedly logical. Kenji's you for 2012. Uh-oh. Feel very depressed now. Sensing this conversation is more or less over, Kenji opens his door again and prepares to head inside. Yeah, I'm going to sleep, dude. Have a good one. Class is going to start in like 20 minutes. I already did something today. Too tired to go to school. Hey, you need some lip balm? I actually bought 2, because I thought the store had started selling individual AA batteries. Thanks, but no thanks. Whatever, man. He swiftly enters his lair, finally letting me go to class. No, Tom, you're not Kenji. I'm going to say that your eyesight's probably better. And you, Tom, as moderator, feel free to time out anybody because you feel like it. I always say, if you mess with the mods, they get to mess with you. For a change, I'm not among the first ones to come to morning class. Instead, almost everyone else seems to be here already. I recognize most of my class by their faces by now, though the names escape me still. Kenji, if he tased himself. I mean, guys, Tom's a lot more. It makes a lot more sense than Kenji does. You're 28. You're 2018 Tom, not 2012 Kenji anymore. Class goes on lazily. I think I'm starting to get into the rhythm of the school. You remember that come Monday? Hey, you can't. It's not like you can time out Tom on Monday. He's a moderator on my channel too. There, unless I didn't make him a mod because he didn't show up for a Monday night live stream for a while, which is entirely possible. But I'm pretty sure he is. Hey, I can time out my own mods, okay? I just unmod you, time you out, and then once the timeout's done, I'll remod you, and then it's like nothing happening for 10 minutes. Anyway. I have even stopped worrying about taking notes and being overtly attentive. First days, I was pretty high-strung in class. You are a mod? Okay. Oh, you mean others? Well, you know. Like, you have to do some pretty great abuses of power to like get unmodded by me. You're scared now, King? You're surrounded by enemies. Be nice to each other in the chat. Anyway, Muto finishes his lecture about electricity early, continues without a pause about the festival. So, as you know, the festival is on the day after tomorrow. I hope everyone's projects are going to be successful this year. Have a good time, but also come Sunday. Please keep the meaning of the festival in your minds. Games and fried food! Thank you, Misha. Everyone burst out in laughter, and so do I. Yes. Thank you, Mikado. But, oh my god, it just auto-scrolled that. But what I meant was more the... God damn you, bells. The remainder of his sentence is buried beneath the ring of the lunch bells, and everyone starts packing their things. Do you make everyone here like one of your alts on Discord? You're telling me secretly saying, Tom, that the entire Discord is just you in disguise? You hate the autocorrect shade? That's fair. So you have to browser window it, man. Anyway, Muto deliberates for a moment, but since almost nobody seems to pay attention anymore, he gives up and sits down. It's crowded in the hallway, or as crowded as hallways in the school probably get. Most of the students seem to be heading down for the cafeteria, and seem to be oddly grayscaled, like I was an NPC or something, or they were NPCs. Wait, what if we're all NPCs? Anyway. Hey, look at this. Hisao! I'm going to make you a one-time only super extra special lunch offer. Emmy's homemade lunch boxes, and the privilege of enjoying them in private with two bombshell beauties. Her overtly flirtatious sales pitch echoes in the hallway, a remarkable feat since it's full of people. Emmy strikes a very confident-looking pose as though as an attempt to one-up her own ridiculousness, puffing her very modest chest and making the V for victory sign with her hand. Box memes? Damn it, you meant NPC? No, clearly it's lunchbox memes now, Shade. Told you, he saw the future. Sounds delicious. To what do I owe this honor of being invited? You stood there looking really lost and sad, so I thought you could use some company. That is probably the most depressing reason imaginable. So, how about it? You're probably really lonely and we eat that awful cafeteria food all alone otherwise. You know what I was like back in 2012, guys? Happy. Tear. But also a lot poorer, so I don't know. Stupid, maybe? Baka? Jobless, edgy, thirsty fuck? That sounds like everybody's 2012, man. Can we all be that in 2012? Jobless, edgy, and thirsty? And a fuck? Wait, what? I'm kidding. Sure, I'll have your lunch offer. Yorokonde. Let's go to the roof. The roof? Why the roof? Because that's where we eat lunch. It was a happier time, Tom. It was the best of times. I'm not sure though. A lot less Neptunia games. A lot less lots of games I like today. You're at maximum power. And if I don't get up there, then she'll probably wander off, and then I just know she'll go hungry because she never packs a lunch for herself. Who will? Come with me! Without answering my question or waiting for a response, she grabs me by the arm and drags me through the hallways. I attempt to make conversation on the way. Why do you have an extra lunch? Oh, well, that's a very strange time to change. Emmy smiles guiltily. Actually, it's yesterday's lunch. I slipped in a run at lunch and forgot to eat it. Huh. The stairway to the roof is a little dilapidated, but it's clearly been used recently. Okay, you're beating the shit out of punks? Well, tell them, well, I hope you did it in the bathroom because, then they can, shit on a toilet or something. At the top of the stairs is a door, complete with the missing padlock. I wonder who the intrepid individual is that removed the lock. Emmy shoves the door open and steps beaming into the sunlight. Suddenly, a tall, dark stranger appears out of nowhere, standing imposingly in front of us. Emmy flinches back, almost falling back down the stairs. 'Cause it's the new Smash character, Rin Tezuka! Wait, what? Eek! Hello. Yipes! You scare me, Rin. Wait, isn't she? Dun dun dun! If you guys didn't know who... If you guys couldn't tell that was Rin Tezuka, Hello. Noticing that Rin is speaking to me, Emmy looks curiously at me. You two know each other? I look confusedly at Emmy. She's that friend of yours? Rena has turned her gaze towards the clouds drifting above the school. I didn't know you knew this person, Emmy. The awkward silence lasts only for a few seconds, till Emmy lets out a tiny giggle, shrugging the coincidence off. I invited Isao for lunch. If you know him, that's just better. Oh. Does this mean I don't get food? Or did you invite him for lunch without the lunch? Neither. I have food for 3. Hey, it's Ishtar without arms? Well, she is bountiful, I guess, in that sense. She is one that gives life as an artist, so I can agree with that. What? Nice thinking. We walk to the other end of the roof while I stay at the clock tower for a while, taking in the atmosphere. A nice clock tower you got here. You know, this thing is well built. What is that? Japanese manufacturer? Amazing. Burb? Okay, King. There's nobody else but us here. I guess the roof is not as popular as it is in other schools. Well, that's because in other schools, usually the roof is locked off and stuff. That's an anime thing, Hisao. I know. I watched a video about it. You make a joke about 2 rins? Well. I turned it into a metaphor. Hey, clock tower's a horror game. Some little clown with like scissors comes out of nowhere. A few rundown benches and tables are scattered around the edges, perhaps in an attempt to make the roof look less desolate. Small pebbles covering the roof rattle beneath our feet. I peek through the chain link fence to take a look at the school grounds and beyond. Students are strolling in pairs and groups around the quadrangle and at the cafeteria. A few delivery trucks are driving past the school towards a convenience store nearby. Somewhere a watchdog barks at a passerby. Woof! Will Hisao get killed by a dwarf with hedge clippers? Find out next time on Katawa Clock Tower. That's right, the clock tower is disabled, sorry. Anyway, somehow when I look towards the town center, the small town feel strikes me very strongly, almost palpably. The hectic lifestyle of a big metropolis seems so far away and foreign here. Nobody has to run to catch a bus like their life depended on it, or get their senses overloaded by the neon lights and traffic jams. I feel surprisingly optimistic about this new life of mine, looking at my new hometown, even if it's just going to be mine for only one short year. Meet his dead father as part of the true ending, you never know. Well, he saw his father is not dead, so maybe this is not Clock Tower after all. Keep in your watchtower like the leprechaun. Spelled leprechaun incorrectly, Tom, but that's okay. Lebra-chan. What? Finding out about my illness and having to move away from home all came so suddenly. I haven't had time to think of how I feel about it. I step out of the shadow of the clock tower to the open. I feel warmth touching my back. The sun! The sun shines from a perfectly clear cerulean sky. Man, it was cloudy today for me, so I can't say the same. Cool breeze sweeping over the rooftop makes me shiver, but only briefly. The wind carries the scent of trees and flowers, not smog and car exhaust like it used to just a few weeks ago. Emmy settles on the bench with Reen in tow and produces 1 big and 2 small lunch boxes from her bag. Come on, Isao, what are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? Leprechaun is the Leprechaun is the Walmart brand, obviously. Yeah, clear ripoff. She's beckoning me to join them, making room on the already small bench. It's like Patato with a P-A-T. Pat-ato. God, I don't know what to do, guys. Spell check, please. I see myself on the corner of the bench to take as little space as possible. It's pretty cramped, but somehow all 3 of us fit on it. Impressive view. Emmy suppresses a giggle and places a lunchbox in front of Rin and hands another lunchbox to me. Here you go, lunch as promised. Homemade, no less. I'm impressed. No. Wow, this looks really good.
Thanks. I make them myself when I can.
Conversation dies off as I said about the business of feeding myself. Oh, whoa. Taking a few bites, I glanced up and noticed Rin deftly opening the lunchbox and popping a fork full of food into her mouth using only her feet. Even though I've seen it before, can't help but be impressed at her dexterity. I mean, Tom, to be fair, you can't kill it any more than Shakespeare did. Mr. I'm going to invent words because I don't have a word for this thing, so I'm going to invent a word here. Shakespeare. It's also a reminder of the sort of place I am in right now. Will I ever get used to sights such as this? I don't know. Rin eating with her feet is pretty different. I'm like, yo, that's awesome. I wish I could do that. But that's me, because I'm weird. I know that. Can't decide if getting used to such a thing would be a good thing or a bad thing either. Does getting used to this place mean that I'm giving up on being a normal person? Or does it just mean that I'm becoming more understanding about those around me? Probably the latter. Oh, excuse me. Hiccuped. Whoa. Distracted from my thoughts by the sight of Emmy tearing into her lunch as if it had insulted her ancestors. These images are very, very weird. You seem pretty hungry. Just imagine Tosaka doing that. Rin just like, with her Zettai Roriki stockings. Emmy looks up, mouthful half full, and swallows before nodding. My morning run always works up an appetite. Which is great, because then I burn through lunch pretty quickly. Helps me keep my girlish figure. Why is everything about Rin's feet? Tom. Are you saying that for reals? What would happen if you lose it? Would you become a man? I really choke on my lunch trying not to laugh. It's a figure of speech. Does your figure have to run in the mornings too? Do you always talk like this? Talk like what? Like what? I think that answers my question. Yes. Never mind. So, sort of the thing of small talk and settle on the obvious question. How do you two meet? Rin seems content to let Emmy answer this question. Someone in the housing department thought we'd complement each other well, so we were assigned rooms next to one another. Complement each other? Like shoes and a suit. Huh? Emmy giggles at my confusion. Put us together and we got all our limbs, get it? Ah. They know their target demographic of Rin rather well. So I started helping Rin get ready in the mornings, and that was that. I mean, you can't help someone get dressed every morning and not get along. I see. Rin chooses this moment to interject. I have trouble with shirts. Right, that seems fairly obvious. Really? Why is that so funny? Why is that so funny? Well, kind of. This isn't helping, but at least Emmy seems to find the whole thing funny. Oh my god, guys. I am literally Emmy in this conversation. That, combined with the fact that Rin is genuinely curious, makes me feel slightly better and yet confused. I mean, you've got no arms. So, putting on a shirt seems like one of those things that would be difficult. You know what? I'm going to just stop talking now. Save me a lot of trouble in the long run. Rin nods in what I suspect is meant to be a sage manner. I see. Yo, midnight release of Smash. Awesome. Tom, what does it say about us? Why am I a 15-year-old girl that wants... Oh! That wants to run. You know what? That's probably true. It's the running part, isn't it? It's the running and the eating a lot parts. God. Damn it. How could I have not realized? Even as it's start, like, oh, maybe I should start running. Conversation dies as I turn my attention back to my lunch. It's really quite good. Emmy finishes her lunch first and makes a contented noise.
Ah, that was good.
Burb. Okay, Shade. As she busies herself with cleaning up her lunch, Rin speaks up.
I'm thirsty. Oh, I almost forgot about that. Sorry.
The flourish, she reaches into her bag and removes a trio of juice boxes. Yo, juice boxes. You know, those are hype. King, you'll have to settle for being, They have me in this game? What? Is this someone we met already? Tosses me one that appears to be a cranberry juice, one to read that appears to be some kind of strawberry milk, complete with pink color scheme, and keeps an equally pink box of some kind of fruit punch for herself. Oh my god, she even kept the fruit punch! Fair. Rin dexterously stabs her straw through the top of her box and begins to drink. I'm once again impressed by how flexible she is, but this time, I keep my comment to myself. Okay, so we'll meet me later. Cool. Somehow, I don't think either Emmy or Rin are the sorts of people to think twice about the way they work around their particular disabilities. Rin especially slow. Indeed, she gives off the impression of being entirely unaware that she's missing any limbs at all. An Akira? Which Akira? Whether or not that's a conscious decision is another matter. I'm honestly not sure.
So Yusel, how do you like it up here?
It's quite nice, actually. I like high places for the view. Uh-oh, was that a spoiler? I'll say Akira because there's a lot of Akiras in anime. Thanks for reminding me up here. And for the lunch, too. Emmy grins a 1,000-watt grin, pleased by my response, I suppose.
No problem.
Oh, I'm Michiru because I'm a goofball in the comic relief? You know, yeah, I can see that. I don't know, though. I think I could probably play a better student than Michiru can. I'm not as stupid. Oh, character name spoiler. Oh, now I know this is going to be Akira.
Akira.
Oh, well.
Feel free to eat with us next time, too, okay? I will make you a lunch, or you can bring your own up here.
No lunch service? I don't know. You know how it is. Free food and all. Emmy looks mock offended.
Trying to take advantage of my good nature.
Took you a while, King.
The nerve.
The knife. She giggles.
Hee hee. Tee hee.
Tom, it's all you, man.
Well, if that's your answer, I guess Rin and I will just keep eating lunch all alone.
I am suddenly assaulted by the most heart-rending puppy dog eyes I've ever seen as Emmy pouts. Kidding! I was kidding! I'd love to eat lunch up here again. Good location, the company's okay too. Emmy frowns a bit at my declaration of okay, seems happy enough that I've accepted her invitation. Tom's just going power crazy, guys. Guess this makes us friends now. Yep, Tom's just power crazy. Or at least acquaintances. The lunch bell rings, signaling a return downstairs.
Rin, you didn't finish your lunch again.
I wasn't that hungry.
If you don't eat more, you're going to fade away.
Rin shrugs as if this is an acceptable risk. Come on, we better get going. Tom. Unlimited power! Anyway, the three of us head down the stairs together. Clock tick-tock and the children play. Anyway, the afternoon class passes. Once again, I find myself without a plan for something to do after school, so I head to the library to return a couple of the books I finished reading. Walking inside, I see that there are about as many students here as there were on Tuesday, all the more evident from the almost total silence enveloping the room. As I drop the books I borrowed into return slots in the counter, Yuko suddenly pops up from behind it, quite startled from the banging they make as they hit the trolley next to her. Sorry, Yuko. Didn't mean to startle you.
No, that's fine. It happens a lot. I'm used to it by now. Can I help you?
It's okay. I think I know where everything is. Thanks anyway. Suppose I'll grab another book or two while I'm here. There's not much else to do. After reading so much during my stay in the hospital, it's become a hard habit to break. Should not be given this power? I don't know. Like I said, I wander down to the fiction section towards the back of the library, scanning the bookshelves for anything that catches my eye. Hey look, this is an eye catcher. That's what it's called. As I do, I look over to the corner where Hanako has been the last time I was here, not really expecting anything to come of it. Surprisingly though, she's there, absorbed completely in a fairly thick book. Decide against intruding on her like last time and get back to finding reading material. After an indiscernible amount of time spent perusing the aisles, I finally decide on a couple of books to get and slide them off the shelf. With a minimum of fuss, I quickly walk over to the counter, check out my books, and pop them into my bag as I walk out. By the time I leave the main building, sunset isn't too far away. A small trickle of students remain. The majority have left, presumably to their homes and dorms. I guess I need to buy some supplies. Can't live off cafeteria food and eating out for my entire stay here. As I leave for the gate, I make a few loud stretches to try and stave off the tiredness that's accumulated over the week. After passing through and rounding the corner, though, I see a solitary figure walking downhill towards the small town below. The color of her hair and tapping of her cane are unmistakable. I quickly walk up to her, which seems to catch her attention without a word needing to be said. Hi, Lily. She takes a moment to place the voice, slightly adjusting her head to face a bit more toward the source of my voice as she does.
Hisao.
Yep, that's me. She seems to have a good memory for voices. The fact that she actually remembered is a pleasant surprise. I mean, you guys just had conversations together. And like lunch, I think. And, he was there for that mock fight between Lily and Shizune,
Good evening. What brings you here?
Once again, she gives a small, polite bow. And once again, I reply in kind before realizing that I didn't need to. Just going to town. You?
My, what a coincidence.
Doing the same thing, eh? Hey!
I usually go shopping on Fridays.
She pauses for a moment, suddenly looking a little lost.
That said, Hanako usually comes into town with me.
Ah, not lost but worried. Two do seem to keep pretty close tabs on one another. It's kind of surprising that Hanako would just forget Lily like that. I noticed her reading in the library. She probably just got caught up in a book. She lets out a small sigh of relief.
Thank you. She has a habit of doing that.
Avid reader.
Right. She doesn't like being around crowds of people, so reading away from everyone lets her relax a bit.
Although she probably didn't intend it, I can't help but grimace as I recall my first meeting with her. Hardly wanting to bring it up, I remain silent as we quietly continue to walk down the quiet road. Tack, 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 tack. The road bereft of cars and the students of Yamaku increasingly far behind us. The quiet rustling of the leaves and the measured tapping of Lily's cane against the sidewalk are all that can be heard. It's kind of nice, especially compared to the hustle and bustle where I used to live. Before I know it, I relax so much that a loud yawn escapes before I can control it.
Tired?
Yeah, been running ragged these past few days. That's an understatement. To be sure, transferring into a different school would be bad enough, but nothing like this.
Well, hopefully everything should settle down for you. The festival's got everyone in a spin right now, and you've been plopped right in the middle of things.
For a moment I hesitate, but given her apparent tolerance for frankness, I decide to give my full thoughts. I guess. Yamaku's kinda different though. I mean, the formality surrounding everything, the isolation around it, not to mention the most obvious difference. It's kind of a whole different mindset. I suppose I'll get used to it though in time. She gives a matter-of-fact nod, apparently pleased with my answer. Feels almost as if she's included me in the flock of students she's shepherding, along with class 3-2 and Hanako. Well, not that I mind. It's nice to get the thoughts off my chest in any case.
Looking on the bright side, one could see it as a chance for a new beginning. Should cherish the ability to make new friends.
That's optimistic. Nonetheless, it's good to have a positive attitude about such things, I suppose. I guess that's a good take on it. Alright, I'm done tapping, guys. We screen transition after all. Walking on down the road, she seems to become somewhat unsettled. Before I can ask what's on her mind, she seems to collect herself and speaks up about something else.
So, where in town were you going?
That's actually a pretty good question. I'd come in to buy food, but the layout of the place is still totally foreign to me. I'd intended to just wander around and see what I could find. With sunset already approaching and nightfall not too far away, that doesn't seem very wise. I'm going to have to ask her for directions. Again. I was just going to get some food, but now that you mention it, I don't really know the way.
Well now, this is quite lucky. I was just about to go to the convenience store myself.
Looks like I'll be in your care again, then. Thanks. Together we walk to the store. My pace is carefully slowed to remain beside her. Compared to my usual walking pace, hers is quite a bit slower. Not that it's without reason. I like Lily. Yo, I like this. I like the name of that convenience store, Aramart. That's awesome. Yo, this beat's pretty good. Yo, the music's really good in this game so far. Loving it. After what couldn't be more than several minutes, I catch sight of our objective. This town really is pretty small. Without further ado, we make our way inside with a greeting from the counter.
Mind if I tag along with you? Usually, Hanako would help me, but seeing as she's not here...
Takes a moment before I realize what she means. Considering she wouldn't be able to read any of the labels, shopping without any help would be a big pain for her. Hisao does not know the way, but he found the queen. So it's okay. That said, can't shake the feeling that she'd had this idea since I said I was coming here. Sure, it'd be my pleasure. Grab 2 well-used red baskets from the small stack beside the entrance, handing one to Lily. She lays it on the ground, putting her school bag in it, retracting her cane and sliding it through the basket's handle before picking it back up in her right hand. Wait, she doesn't use her cane. Before I can complete the thought, she comes beside me and pinches the cuff of my uniform in her slender fingers.
Is this alright?
Sure. Yeah, no problem. Hold on tight. We're going front. What? I have no reason not to accept. I can think of worse things than shopping with a pretty girl holding on to me, even if it is out of necessity. Navigate our way through the store, with not one of the occasional passing customers seeming to bat an eyelid. Considering how close Yamaku is, I guess seeing students from there must be entirely normal for the local residents. To reach each aisle, I quickly check with Lily and find out what she needs, grab it along with what I'm looking for, and put our items into their respective baskets. I guess this is the same routine she and Hanako follow every Friday. Right, all that's left is the bread, and that should be my shopping done. Do you need anything else, Lily?
No, this should be everything.
Off we go then. The quick side trip to the bakery section, make our way to the registers. The line, thankfully, is almost non-existent. It's not long before we've both paid for our food and are out the door. Wait, what? You fiend, how dare you hold cuffs in public? I'm innocent, officer! I'm just leading the way! Do you know the way? As Lily retrieves her cane and extends it to its full length, I waste a minute looking upward at the night sky while holding both our bags. Arrested for public indecency. There's nothing indecent! For a moment I try to make clouds with my breath, but summer's heat doesn't seem to cooperate. Oh, it's just warm. He knows the way, my brothers. So, old memes aside. Eventually she rights herself, taking a quick stretch before taking her bag and leaving me to my 2. You're tired as well.
The festival preparations have been complete chaos. She's in there breathing down my neck doesn't exactly help things either.
Hey, she's only trying to get everything organized. Better now than later, right?
I suppose. I'm going to enjoy relaxing in town tomorrow. That's for certain.
Guess the festival preparations must be taking their toll on both of them. We walk out into the quiet street, talking between ourselves as we carry our bags of food and supplies from the store. Wait, what's that? I notice a very distinctive figure making its way toward us, silhouetted by the street lamps. For a second, I think it's another male student from my class, but as he, or should I say she, gets closer, I recognize her quickly. Rin, what are you doing out here so late? Oh snap!
Rin.
Lily perks her head, looking like she's trying to focus on listening more keenly. It suddenly comes to me that I should probably interpret the scene for her. It's Rin, Tezuka. I think it was her last name, from our school. She stiffens at the name and gives a complicated looking expression. Something like a forced fusion of a composed smile and a painful cringe.
Ah, I understand.
I guess Lily knows Rin too. New queen. Your queen got overthrown so quick! Rin turns to look at us, looking terribly out of it. I'm not entirely sure if she recognizes either of us, or at least she doesn't acknowledge it if she does. She looks like a zombie, or a statue. A statue of a zombie. But slowly, some symptoms of understanding seem to lighten in her dark eyes. This is something she must react to. Rin blinks once, very thoroughly. Hello, Clarice. Wait, what? There's an awkward pause, everyone waiting for someone else to say something. What are you doing here this late? Yeah, excuse me. My throat's a little from the sodas. Should get my water. I didn't get my water. Oops. Spit.
I was wondering about that myself too, just now. Some people asked that just before. I assumed they were wondering the same. I didn't know. They didn't know either. I asked. That's why I'm wondering. So that was pretty much it. It's a murder mystery without a murder. They were going that way.
Turns facing to her right in order to demonstrate the direction the other people went to, as if that was important. Then rotates back like a mechanical puppet, one of those overly complicated clockworks. For a person who gives an impression of being the quiet type, Rin really does use a lot of words to say things that don't need a lot to be said. Unsure she's finished, I say nothing. Neither does Lily, who seems equally robbed of words for the time being. I think that both of us are in fact just scared that any response might provoke her to continue. Our stupefied lack of reaction doesn't faze Rin at all. She keeps looking at us expectantly, a calm hint of expression on her blank face. Expectation. Oops. She seems to be that kind of person, always so relaxed. As if bull elephant grade sedatives were flowing in her veins in the place of blood.
Do you have amnesia? I don't recall you having anything of the sort, though.
No, I don't think it's that. The other passerby were probably just worried, though. You do look really lost, the way you're standing in the middle of the street.
Oh, I see. Maybe I should have taken some kind of pose in that case.
I pondered for a while whether I should chase this angle further, or give up for the sake of my own sanity. I decided on the latter. Seems that most of the time it's better not to read too deeply into what Rin is babbling about. Talking to Rin is like playing chess with a supercomputer who does seemingly completely random moves, as if to mock everything you know about chess. It's like that, except with human interaction. Wow, that's actually very, very interesting. Blizzard's a Pokemon move. And even if I win, it feels like losing. Damn, it's just like Kenji said. Even when I win, I lose. Is this the power of the girls of Yamaku? Oh no! Oh no, Isawa's going down the feminist conspiracy side, guys. Save him. I push the thought aside as too dangerous to consider further. It's probably just Kenji's anti-female propaganda getting to me during a moment of weakness. Yeah, maybe taking another pose might have worked. So anyway, you have no idea what you're doing here. She frowns, looking extremely displeased at either my question, its consequences, or the answer she's about to give.
I do have some idea. I can't really tell what kind of an idea. That sounds like progress, at least.
Lily sounds as if she spotted an opening for some kind of discernibly normal conversation. I can't say I share her optimism.
Yes, there is some, definitely. The rest will come later. I'm sure of it. I always have reasons.
This is literally the war of who I think is best girl so far and who Tom thinks is best girl. The ensuing silence kills Lily's hopes all too visibly. That didn't last long. Rin's, as far as I can tell, unbased, assurance aside. What should be done? Just leave her to her own devices, whatever those are. But it's late, and I don't think we'll be getting any thanks if Rin is found standing here in the middle of the night. Which she probably will, unless she manages to remember what she was doing here in the first place. As for me trying to guess what might have been going on in her mind when she decided to embark on this adventure, the chances seem to be on par with winning the lottery. Several times in a row. Lily's oddly quiet too. I'd appreciate some support from the sidelines here, especially if she's more familiar with Rin than I am. But it can't be helped. Seems her familiarity with Rin is exactly why she's staying subdued. So, I assume you were going somewhere, not coming back to the school. Any idea where? Meet your best girl. Her eyes widen in shock. She jolts back in a somewhat artificial way, making it seem like an act rehearsed for situations like this.
Are you a mind reader? Is that your disability? How unique.
No, what? Wait, why would you think that?
You knew what I was doing.
What is that look that Rin's gonna say? Like, what is that look? What? It was just an educated guess. Walked this same street in the other direction just before to get to the store. If we were going to school, we would have met you on the way.
Oh.
She looks a little disappointed. Like Kenji, Rin appears quick to jump to completely irrational conclusions. Well, King, don't tell me what it is. Maybe it's something in the water here. I make a mental note to stock up on soft drinks. You know, that is the second time this week that someone asked if I was a mind reader. Did I really give off that impression? Rin shrugs her shoulders, which is all the answer I get. You know,
maybe you should come with us back to the school.
Lee interjects just as I'm about to further debunk my alleged mind-reading capabilities. She sounds rather concerned, a paper-thin smile on her face badly disguising that fact. Maybe she came to the same conclusion as I did. For everyone's sake, I decide to let the mind-reading topics drop, as it's entirely inane anyway. Yeah, Lily's right. If you can't remember, there's no point staying here. Rin considers this rather simple deduction for a moment, then nods.
Okay.
We're going. Let me get a refill of drinks, guys, because my throat is parched. So I'll be back in a moment. And of course, I do have a refilling drinks image. Ah, shoot, just hit my microphone. You know, King, it's very hard to talk shit when I could just read it. Anyway. It's the drinking stream. Not like alcohol or anything, I'm just getting Stuff for the throat. Whew. Anyway. Start towards the school again, having wasted way more time than necessary with this episode. What? I think we spent a good, adequate amount of time for this episode. We're still going. Rain walks along the edge of the sidewalk in a rhythmic way, looking like a mix of a sleepwalker and a rope dancer, while Lily keeps one hand on my shoulder, tapping at the ground with her cane. Tap, step, step, tap, tap, step, step, step. That's our song. Just happy to be hanging out with us, King? Oh. That's a drink for you. Apart from that, and a few fragmented beginnings of conversation, it's quiet. Quiet, quite apart from the relaxing one in town at that. So how's the mural going? We are getting to get bad luck. Never talk about works in progress. I'm sure it'll be wonderful. Bad luck. Tap, step, tap, step. She doesn't care to take a talk about it. Lily's politeness feels out of place for the first time. Step, step, step. The hill Yamako rests on top of is surprisingly steep, going uphill. Slow the pace, but I still feel my pulse rising and breathing getting heavier. Anyway. Almost there. You can see the gates already. More than that, though, I notice that Lily's hand slightly tightens on my shoulder. Interpreting it as a gesture as she wants to ask something, I speak up. Anything wrong, Lily? Resist the urge to say, aside from our traveling companion, but only just. For a moment, she seems to debate whether she should even bring it up, but goes for it anyway. Is everything all right? All right? How do you mean? The fact I can't interpret her incredibly vague question puts her off for a second. It's just, you seem unusually tired, I guess. Now that she brings it up, I notice that my breathing is strangely heavy. The uphill walk has really done a job on me. Lily noticed it all too quickly. Tom, I believe that we should say sorry I'm not in a very good condition, right? Right? Being truthful, I think, is the way for the Lily path. I will when I check Discord next. I mean, when I finish live streaming, about like an hour and a half to 2 hours. I'm gonna assume this way, right? Sorry, I'm not in very good condition. Because being truthful to Lily, if I want to get the Lily route, makes a lot of sense. Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. It's alright. I just need to catch my breath. The condition isn't the best these days. Oh. Is it something that is related to you being transferred here? I mean... She cuts herself off rather abruptly, maybe realizing she was being a bit intrusive. Her instincts are sharp, though, and while I don't like the subject, it's not like I should lie about it. If it's Lily, I don't think I mind. If it's Lily, anyway, I'm just a little weak for the time being. Hanako said you looked fairly healthy, so I naturally thought... Lily doesn't finish her sentence again, letting it trail off with a measure of concern. She furrows her brow. Lily's uncomfortable expression spurs me to say at least something to ease her feelings. It's surprising she's this flustered, considering her straightforward attitude with her own blindness. She must know that not all share her own comfort about such things. Oh, yo, look at that! She's like super considerate, but she's like, even though she's trying to be super polite and careful, she like kind of fumbled that one. And Hisao's just like, it's okay. Made the decision. No, it's okay. I have a pretty... I guess the best way to put it would be messed up heart. Arrhythmia. I had a bad heart attack a while ago because of it, and spent most of the spring in the hospital, ending Yamako on doctor's orders. She silently nods her head in acknowledgement. My answer, though, only seems to make Lily furrow her brow even further. She doesn't seem to quite know how to react, given we don't really know each other that well. Can't really fault her for it, given I have the exact same reaction. To my surprise, in a moment's time, her face shows that she's come to some sort of realization.
Wait, so that time when Emmy and you collided in the hallway?
I grimace slightly. Her ability to connect the dots quite so fast is unexpected. Yeah, I guess I'm a textbook example of why those rules about running the corridors exist. That was a lot more dry than I intended. Lily visibly shies away from continuing the topic. Rin looks at me like, you didn't choose me. You didn't choose me, so whatever, man. I'll be here next route. I'm like, you damn well know I'm gonna go for you soon. What? What? Whoa. Well, that was weird. Oh, I don't know where that came from. Anyway, while I do want to assuage her concern, I really don't want to dwell on this either. Don't worry about it. Try to offer a reassuring smile, but then I realize the futility. Without knowing this, Lily smiles at me reassuringly, but doesn't say anything further. Reen just judged us hardcore. Arriving at the dorms, Reen stops in front of her mural as if lightning struck her. She had been so quiet for almost all of the walk back that I had all but forgotten she was here.
It's Friday, isn't it? Yes, Friday, the 8th of June.
This is bad.
Bad? Why?
I think I'm going to go in fetal position and throw up, possibly in reverse order.
Is something wrong?
No, nothing is wrong. It's Friday and nothing is wrong yet. This mural is going to need to be finished by Sunday, so everything's all right. Do you have any drugs? Or a time machine? This is not good. Not good. So she's behind her schedule. Calling she's in this exasperation at Reen's carefree attitude several days ago. I don't know what to think. She has left herself open for a told you so. Unless she can pull off whatever she needs to pull off by Sunday morning. Reen keeps staring at her mural, looking at it as mortified as she can. Leave me. I'm going to need to work for a while. I glance at Lily, expecting her to share an incredulous look with me as I roll my eyes. Then I realize she's not one to do that kind of thing. Leave me. We do, of course, not wanting to aggravate her any more than she already is. There's a turning bad feeling in my gut. Reen sure has a knack of making people feel worried about her. She seems like a person who should never be left alone. Maybe we should call someone? She sounded like she was going into shock or something.
I'm sure she will be just fine. She's just, how to say?
Lee cocks her head a little, trying to find a polite way of calling Reen crazy without calling her crazy. Unique?
Yes, a very unique person.
I guess you could say that. Yeah. She giggles at the notion melodiously, nodding in agreement.
Sorry about leaving you stranded as you talk to her. I don't really understand her, so I keep my distance.
So my guess was right. Lily offers a slight apologetic smile, as if she was sorry that her own shortcomings had prevented her from becoming closer to Reen. I'm not one to blame her. At all. Lily lets us slip a long breath, probably a disguised yawn. Imagine she's as exhausted by all this as I am.
I better leave now and give these to Hanako. Thank you for the company, Sal.
She smiles very sweetly at me. Feels different than normal, despite the fact that she seems to be smiling so often. Can't put my finger on what the difference is. It's just different. Relaxed, I say. That's probably just relief over getting rid of Rin. Maybe. Selling yourself shorty, Sal. Don't do it. Yeah, good night. Say hi to Hanako for me.
I will. Good night.
My favorite time. The Katawa Shoujo transition screen. Love it. 10 out of 10. Best. Could dance with the devil tonight. Anyway, the students roll into class for the Saturday morning session. each and every one of them sporting the tired eyes of people who have worked through the night. With only a day left to prepare, I suppose it's not so surprising. Thankfully, we only have to suffer through classes until the lunch break, and then our time is our own. This isn't Doki Doki? Uh-oh. Muto lurches into class in a tired stagger. Suppose students aren't the only people here that enjoy their late Friday nights. Without saying a word, he scrawls some page and question numbers on the board and slumps down at his desk. It's completely atypical behavior for him. It appears that no one in the class is going to call him out on it. Wordlessly, the students shuffle their textbooks into position and get to work. Not wanting to break the trend, I do the same. Fatigue has made the class antisocial. Not a peep is heard among the ruffling papers. That can partly be attributed to the 2 empty seats beside me. For some reason, Misha and Shizuna aren't present, probably doing console work for the festival. It's very quiet without Misha present. In fact, everything's quiet without Misha. Wonder if she was born as rowdy as she is, or she is making up for Shizuna's lack of voice. Nakai. Can I speak to you for a moment? I'm so engrossed in thinking about Misha that I don't even notice Muto approaching my desk. Sure. What's this about? It's probably better if we speak outside the classroom. Something about this doesn't sound too good. I stand up and follow him out into the hallway. Muto stands in the hallway, scratching his head as he works out what he's trying to say. Not knowing what is going on, I wait silently. So, tell me, how are things? I don't know. Misha actually seems more like a mood setter than she is a mood taker awayer person. Things? I expected Muto to be a little vague, but this is pushing the limits. You know, things. We've had a week to settle in now, so how are things? Fine, I guess. I see. And how is your condition? The pause before condition seems a little unnecessary. Haven't had any problems so far. Brief shimmer of relief passes across Muto's face. Good. That's good. School nurse was a little concerned that you might have been pushing yourself a bit too hard. He asked me to keep an eye on you when he couldn't. That makes sense. I'd ask that you don't blow us off so freely. As much as we try to give you the level of education that you would get at a normal school, you have to realize that you have limits. Our goal is to make sure that you know where those limits are and how to maximize your potential within them. Do you follow me? I guess. I don't plan on doing anything stupid. Well, that's a start, I guess. So then, on to my next question. How are you finding your studies? I understand you were laid up for a while. Not too far ahead, are we? I don't really think so. I tried to keep up when I was in the hospital, so it hadn't been too hard. Muto taps his chin and raises an eyebrow as he absorbs this information. Is that so? I suppose there are still students out there who realize the importance of learning. I wouldn't go that far. I was only trying to keep myself occupied in my little life support prison. Well, yeah. Got to keep up with these things, right? Oh, Muto's smiling too. That's exactly it. One wrong move in this world and you're left behind, right? Right. We don't want that to happen. No, you won't. Every week there's a new scientific discovery. Most of them mean nothing to the layperson, but any one of them could be the key to the next big thing. I'll keep that in mind. It's obvious that Muto's serious talk is over. It's gone back to his standard, slightly scatterbrained approach to life. I think in hindsight, I prefer him this way. Slightly more predictable in his predictability. Well then, I think that's all I really had to say. Let's get back inside, shall we? My relief at that suggestion is insurmountable. Sure, you're the boss, right? Muto paused for a moment. I don't think any of my students have ever said that to me before. For instance, I consider replying to this. Something deep within me tells me to shut my mouth and get back into the classroom. A few of the students jump at the sound of the door, rapidly trying to pretend that they are working on the questions on the board. Some don't even bother, their heads slumped on the desk as they nap. Some are just like, sleep. Thankfully, it appears that Muto doesn't even notice them. He returns to his desk and retrieves a scientific journal from one of the drawers. Guess I got to him there. Class returns to the near silence that Muto and I left in before our chat. Mixed feelings of tiredness and anticipation buzz around the room. Everyone here is either waiting for a chance to rest or a chance to get their last-minute preparations underway. The clock on the wall slowly ticks the remaining class time away, until finally the bells cry out, ending the torment. Before you all leave, I expect the answers to those problems by Monday. The class sighs as one, instantly regretting slacking off, but still acutely aware of the more pressing issues at hand. The classroom empties in a blink as everyone rushes to their last-minute festival preparations. I stay behind and try to quickly finish the questions so I don't have to bother with it over the rest of the weekend, the festival, and all tomorrow. There's somehow worse students than you? I'm not so sure about that. I think there's an acceptable level of laziness from all students. Like, I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be frank. You know, I never understood like the quote-unquote high performance prep schools and such approach, because it's just very stressful for the people involved. I go, you know, it might just be better, maybe, if, I don't know, you have a student who's willing to learn because they're well rested and well taken care of. Now, with that said, if the student still fails to deliver even after that, there's one of two reasons. One, you fail as a teacher. Or two, that student is failing being a student. It's not one way. You have to, and it's a case-by-case scenario. There are some teachers who can't teach to some students. Like, those students will not listen to them, or they can't learn from that type of style of teaching, etc. But, you know, overall, you know, like, you know, there are kids who feel overworked and overwhelmed. It's gonna happen. I don't know. Maybe I have too many strong opinions on education. That's why. Education, educators. Anyway. Apart from me, Hanako is the only one left, obviously waiting for Lily. It's weird that Lily comes all the way to our classroom to pick her up. I expect that moving around is at least nominally harder for her than it is for Hanako. But it's none of my business, and I naturally don't ask about it from Hanako. Despite the relative proximity of our seats, neither tries to strike up a conversation about that or anything else either, so an oppressive silence falls upon the classroom. Time passes in silence. It's probably just 15 minutes or so, but it feels longer. I turn pages of my notebook. Hanako turns pages of the novel she's reading. My pencil lead splinters against the paper just when I was about to finish a paragraph. The sound of an irritated sigh and subsequent fumbling around for a sharpener feels like they're breaking the mood in the classroom. Hanako keeps her eyes firmly away from my direction. For a long, Lily's tall figure appears in the doorway. Hanako. Her name is all it takes to make Hanako jump up from her desk and run to Lily. They talk quietly for a moment, but it isn't long before Lily leaves down the hall, and Hanako idles back into the classroom, taking her seat once again. Watch Hanako out of the corner of my eye, out of sheer curiosity at the idea that the two would be separated. For a couple of minutes, she does nothing but sit with her chin in her hand, staring at the desk dejectedly. Aw, probably because Lily's busy, right? The boredom evidently becomes too much for her, though, Sunder frame reaching into her bag and pulling out a small book. Come to think of it, this isn't the one I saw her reading at the library. She'd be quite a fast reader to get through them at this rate. Why would Lily leave her to her own devices? Seems quite out of ordinary, going by Hanako's reaction. Ah, that's right. I think Lily mentioned something about going into town today before being bumped into us. The thought of that walk makes me look outside. The bright sun and occasional people wandering around and enjoying the afternoon make me yearn to get out of school, or at least to do something other than sit here. Giving in to one of my worst vices, procrastination, decide that history is a subject best studied on a Sunday, or a Monday, or on any other day other than this one. It's Saturday. Sunday, Monday, happy days. Tuesday, Wednesday, happy days. Thursday, Friday, happy days. Saturday, what a day. No history for you! Wait, what? I give a grunt as I lever myself out of my seat, briefly debating with myself whether or not to hang out with Kenji. Oh my god. Doesn't strike me as the enjoying the nice weather outside with others kind of person, really. I guess I'll catch up with him later. Changing tacks, I briefly entertained the idea of talking with Hanako, but by the time I look at her seat, it's vacant. She must have left for the library. There's gotta be something to do that can kill the time. I believe it's we're gonna go for a walk in town, right? Because that's where Lily is. I'm not mistaken. I think a walk in town is where it's at, because I think if you go to the library, that's where Hanako is, correct, Tom? It's a quiet chat. Go library. Library? Why am I going to the library, Tom? Is this the Lily route? Is this the Hanako route? I feel like Tom is leading me down a different path. I'll go to the library. The library seems as good a place as any to go. Hanako looked as if she was taken pretty off guard by Lily leaving, so she might want someone to talk to. Slinging my bag over my shoulder, I make my way out of the classroom. And this picture is not as terrifying as the other one. But, you know, it's close. I walk down the hallway to the library, past a multitude of closed doors. Through each one of the sound of furious rehearsal can be heard. Rock music blares out of one door, almost as loud as a concert. Guess that's one of the advantages of a private school. There are actually enough rooms to go around at a time like this. And when I think about it, the grounds and buildings of the school are kept in pretty good condition. They can't be too cheap. Heard that this place has some pretty serious benefactors. The walls of the library only partially insulate the noise of the festival preparations, but they're the only sounds to be heard. See, I knew it. I knew it, Tom. What if I purposely give the bad ending? Tom, what would you do if I purposely went for a bad ending? Not a soul stirs here. I'm kidding. I'm not going to. I get the endings as they come. So yeah, so Tom, that's the main choice that decides whether you're going down Lily or Hanako, right? I'm guessing that was the choice. So like if next playthrough I could just go back to that one and just choose the walk in town one to get the Lily route. Just start going down the Lily route, right? Not a soul stirs here, with everyone apparently enjoying the weather outside or working on festival events. Yuko isn't here either. Maybe she doesn't work on Saturdays. Excuse me. Excuse me again. I quietly walk through the library. No, I'm not gonna go for a real bad ending. Also, I think you're behind like a lot more than like the half minute or minute. Either I talk really fast, I don't know. Quietly walk through the library, now fairly familiar with its layout. Okay, that's the main choice. Okay. Yeah, so we could just head back to that one later on for the Lily route. I head to the back where Hanako's private little corner is. I think he said something on like me going to Hanako first anyway, right? Because of spoiler-related reasons. I run my hand along the spines of the books on the way through, feeling the individual texture of each as I glance across the titles. I used to do this all the time at the library at the hospital. Some things never change, I guess. Like the smell of a library, no matter how much care you take, the paper and books is always going to degrade with time. It's true. Probably no matter which library you go to, anywhere in the world, must have been the same, that musty smell. Find something that looks light enough to read without any major thoughts involved, then look for Hanako in the reading area. Once again, she's sitting on the beanbag with her back to the bookshelf, reading the same book she had in the classroom. She slowly makes her way through the pages. Unlike last time I saw her here, I quietly take a seat in a beanbag. The noise is enough to catch her attention, but not startle her. This delicate routine that must be followed each and every time I try to talk to her almost feels like a hunting game. Is that the same book as before?
Yes. I'm almost finished.
Oh, okay. That makes sense, Tom. Cool. I wonder if I should... Do you mind if I borrow it when you're finished? My mouth is faster than my mind, it seems.
Sure. You may not like it, but...
I'm sure it can't be that bad. After all, you stuck with it, haven't you?
I guess.
I settled into my beanbag and set about reading my own book that had been buried in my bag. It's a light novel about pirates. About Francis Drake with big boobs. And something about Okeanos. Wait, what? It's a light novel about pirates. To be honest, I'm barely skimming over the words, having chosen the book merely because it belongs to a different genre than I usually read. Finding it hard to muster enough enthusiasm to finish the book, and noting that I've inadvertently distracted Hanako quite a bit, I decide to try and make conversation. So I see Lily left without you. She nods before taking her eyes off her book. She must have been really into it after all.
Lily said she had to go and meet someone.
Oh?
Akira, her sister.
Oh! Are you guys saying I'm like... Is that a younger sister or older sister? I don't know. Sister? I haven't heard her talk about her family.
She and Akira used to live together.
Thought all the students lived in the dorms.
We don't have to.
But it's easier, right? I mean, there's food here, and you're close to school. I don't think I've ever been to a class on time so often in my life. Wow! Wow, Hisao, you lazy fuck. I mean, that makes sense. I am a actual older sibling. I'm Toten older sister, guys. I'm a One-chan. Wait, what? I'm kidding, guys. I'm not female. She wears a suit all the time, has a drinking problem. That's why she's... Wow! You know... I don't wear a suit all the time, okay? Damn it, I should have denied the drinking problem. Oh, anyway. But seriously, this lazy SOB. What? Oh, I've never been those. I used to show up to school early all the time. All the time. I mean, to be fair, I also had morning classes that started before school started at school, but that's beside the point. I showed up to those on time too. Oh, she likes driving. Okay, that's fair. I can agree with that. Hopefully not drinking and driving. That's not a joke, though. I'm serious. Hopefully not drinking and driving. Anyway. Her badly hidden smile proves quite rewarding. In the back of my mind, I know I have a bit of homework to catch up on, but it's quite comfortable in here. No one can find me and force me into working for their pet project either. Though now that I'm thinking about the festival, another question comes up. Hey, Hanako, what are you doing for the festival? For a split second, I think that Hanako's about to throw her book in the air from shock. She's like, festival! She like chucks it at Hisao's face.
So, sorry?
I was just asking what you're doing for the festival tomorrow. Anything planned?
I don't know.
Hanako answers in the way that people do when they don't want you to ask any more questions. I take it large crowds and loud music aren't really her thing. Oh, okay. Change the subject. So what's Lily's sister like?
She's nice. She's pretty like Lily, but she dresses businesslike.
Businesslike?
She's always wearing a suit.
I'm like, I wonder if that's spoilers to know this. I'm assuming we're just gonna find out right now. I see. That makes her less pretty somehow? Hanako gives an embarrassed shake of her head.
No, just different.
I'll admit it. This has got me intrigued. To hear Hanako talk about someone other than Lily is a first, and to be complimentary about it too. As I try to picture this mystery sister, all I can think of is Lily in a suit. I can't imagine that not being attracted. Not at all. Well, one day you'll have to introduce me to her.
Okay.
Our brief conversation ends as abruptly as it started. We both return to our novels. And now we're on the Hanako route. Wait, what? The passage of time is marked only by the gradual movement of the patch of light cast through the windows. Slowly, the noises from the various rehearsals in the building fade out and die. Students start to get hungry and tired. Just thinking about that makes my stomach start to turn knots around itself. I think it's time to head back. Do you think Lily would be back by now? I think I might head back to my dorm. I'm pretty tired from this week. And not a word of that is a lie. Moving to a new school as it ramps up for a major event has been taxing, to say the least. I can feel myself nodding off as I read my book.
Okay. I might stay here a little longer.
Now we unknowingly enter the Akira route. That'd be great. Finally meet her. It's like, boom. Ending. Wait, what? Looking at Hanako's book, I can see that she's only a few pages away from completing it. For a moment, I consider hanging around until she finishes. Once again, my stomach turns, emitting a gurgling sound. Sure thing. Well, I'm going to head off before it gets dark. I'll see you around, okay?
Okay. See you, Hisao.
Later.
Hisao? Thank you for hanging out with me.
I can see how hard it was for her to get that simple sentence out of her mouth. Leaves me hanging for a moment. So Anime is betting himself then? Just call me what is the Greek guy's name? Narcissus? Yeah, Narcissus. The man who fell in love with his own reflection. If my reflection is anime wifeys, guess I'm in love with myself. People be like, hey, you sound like a loser saying that. Well, guess what? I'm not afraid of being a loser. Word. Ow. Hit my desk pretty hard there. Oops. So, there is someone in the school who's even lonelier than me. Maybe lonely is a wrong word. I haven't been lacking company for this first week, but I've still managed to feel somewhat alone and detached. Maybe lonely is a wrong word for Hanako too. She has Lily after all, doesn't she? Akira fan RK2K? I realize I've been standing there far too long without answering and pull off a flawless, not too exaggerated smile. You're welcome. Good night, Hanako.
Good night.
I leave her to finish her book and head back to the dorm in the promised food. And that face just kind of creepily stares at me as it does so. I always, let's call it, I only played one Fire Emblem game recently. It's called Fire Emblem Awakening on the 3DS. And I 100% played as a female character. Oh yeah. The next day I wake up feeling a little lightheaded. It's almost noon already. Sleeping late is fine since it's Sunday and there are no classes. Not just a Sunday though, but the festival as well. From my window I can already see some people at the soba booth slinging noodles onto plates for people with a craving for low quality food. I throw back a handful of my morning meds and ponder how to spend the day. There will be a few exams in the coming weeks. I don't consider those as ominous as others, so I'm not as worried about them as I probably should be. With no urgent obligations regarding education, I should be free to spend the day at the festival as I like. Finishing my morning routine, I exit into the hallway intending to go out and find something to eat. Nah, female rabbit is my canon. Always. Passing by his door, I decide to see what Kenji's up to today out of impulse. I'm curious if he has any plans, since everyone else is doing something. Then again, I can picture him having built a soundproof shelter in his room. Or possibly something like a fort, complete with no girls allowed sign. And the girl is crossed out and body crudely scrawled underneath it. Knocking on his door, which is luckily devoid of any kind of sign, hear again the unsettling clicking of at least 10 locks being pulled back. The door opens up a crack. Who is it? You're supposed to ask that before you open the door.
Oh, it's you. Damn. It's early.
It's not really that early.
What is it, man?
Nothing. I was just gonna ask what you're gonna do today. Half the school is out there already.
Out where? Why?
What?
What? Is today special? Why are they there? Who are? I can hear them. It's loud. Don't tell me. Has the invasion begun?
Someone looks more alarmed.
What day is it, man?
Yeah, I guess you can't see the big wooden booths outside and people selling stuff.
What the hell are you talking about? I have my curtains closed at all times, thwart the snipers.
It's a festival. You know that, right?
Oh shit, that today? Damn it. I can't believe I forgot. I don't have my fort finished yet. This is bad. This is going to be a very bad day. It's good you told me this, man. This is going to be a bad day.
Why?
Oh man, they're going to be everywhere. The people, outside my window, socializing.
Kenji rubs his temples nervously, suddenly looking very ill.
It's going to be loud as hell. Damn, I was going to go out today. Now it's ruined. Everything is ruined.
Kenji goes out.
It's about gay frogs, man! And make the freaking frogs gay!
That's too perfect! Oh no! Oh no! Just Kenji sits there like on YouTube.
And make the freaking frogs gay!
It's so good. Except you blame feminists for it.
This is awful! This sucks! This sucks! What the hell? This really sucks! I can't go anywhere now! There's nowhere to run! Nah.
Kenji seems nervous. You even say he's majorly freaking out.
I can't believe this! So that's what today was. I don't know. I can't speak. Damn! And I couldn't even prepare for it. I couldn't even brace myself, and now it's here, and I can't do anything. You should have told me this earlier, dude. I mean, at least I know, but I could have known earlier. Imagine what I could have accomplished.
Sorry, I thought you knew. So I guess you're not going to do anything today. You need a drink because of that? You know what? You know what, guys? If anybody out there is watching this and they want Kenji Jones, let me know. I'll voice Kenji. Hit me up. The weather is even good. You know what's really sad? I stumble more he solves talk than no, King. Kenji harasses feminists. It's all that's because of the feminist conspiracy and females. The weather is even good. Yesterday was really windy, so I thought today would be cold. It's not though, so there's no reason to just stay inside. Yeah, you should check the festival out. Kenji groans and covers his face with his hands.
Ah! No. I can't do that. They'll eat me alive out there. I know it.
That has to be a joke, but he said it with such a straight face. Relatively straight. So what? He said Kenji's already gay for you while he's out? Man.
What are you going to do? We should hang out in here. I can help. You can help me build my fort. We might still make it if we work together.
I don't know. I'm pretty hungry, so I thought I'd get some food first, and then check out the attractions. Class project seems pretty cool. I give a hand with it, so I want to see it at least that one and chat with Lily, I guess. Speaking of that, don't you have any obligation for the project?
Are you out of your mind? Ah! That blind broad is up to no good. I can feel it in my spleen, man. Her presence like a dark shadow. That is the way of my great vision. As expected of blind people.
What? Besides, I thought that you were also... He holds up his hand to interrupt me.
Only legally. Metaphorically, I can see farther than any man before me has seen.
And he looks stoically into the metaphorical distance to emphasize his statement, thrusting his chin forward to look manlier. Actually, it's just a corridor wall 2 meters away, but it's all the same. I can see the future of mankind, and it's a dark one unless the threat of women is stifled. They are everywhere. He fingers his scarf nervously, faster and faster like he's trying to start a fire, and slowly begins to calm down once the panic attack finishes running its course. I'm going to have to find some place to hide in, a safe haven, and then knock the lights out of it myself, so I don't have to experience this horrible day. Kenji Jones' best girl. I have the perfect thing for that. I must prepare now. Don't go to the festival. Okay. Later, dude. The door slowly closes with a low creak. I don't know how to feel about what Kenji just said. I go to the festival. After buying a plastic plate of takoyaki from a stall belonging to the class next to ours, I take a seat in the school gardens and watch people pass as they tentatively nibble away at the rather bland tasting item. Guess I shouldn't complain. It's better than nothing and didn't cost much. As I look out toward the school, watching the people coming and going proves a surprisingly entertaining way of passing the time as I eat. The little children are accompanied by parents, or grandparents scamper about in the din from event to event, one hand dragging their company and the other bearing an oversized colorful snack. Can't help but notice the age range among the people here is skewed towards the elderly, something that I also noticed when I was walking around town. Kenji's banned from Twitter? Probably. This may be one of those towns where the only people left are those that lived here their whole lives, and ardently refuse to leave. Those wanting to live out the rest of their days in one of the increasingly few tranquil places. Kenji is Twitter? Kenji's Tumblr. He's the other side of Tumblr. Against the rest of Tumblr, you know? I guess that also goes away to explaining how conservative Yamaku school culture seems to be. Not that I mind one bit. I kind of like how calm Yamaku and its surroundings are. The heat, though, is another matter entirely. Sitting in one place for so long has focused my mind on how annoyingly humid it's getting, now that the hottest part of the day is here. I better something. The sound of Carolyn bells takes me completely by surprise as I stand up. A reaction shared by a few people strolling around me as well. The PA system crackles to life after a tolling bell ends. Its age shows as the principal makes a barely intelligible announcement over it, officially opening the festival that's very much in full swing. 4chan is pretty calm, actually. It's quite amusing to contrast the pleasant smiles of the older folk against the alternately pained and bored grimaces of their younger charges. The students, on the other hand, seem to be paying little heed. Nevertheless, as the address finally ends, all are united in a polite, if not overly enthusiastic, applause, and then get back to business. Slipping a hand in my pocket to look as relaxed as possible, I casually glance around for something to do. Somewhat difficult to see very far with all the people around. Decide to fall back on a tried and trusted rule. Go where everyone else seems to be gathering. Right now, that's the school courtyard and surroundings. Throwing a used plate in a trash can, I made my way toward the school building. Seeing the number of stalls around the perimeter of the school building surprises me. Quite a few of the classes must have opted to have multiple stalls. Kenji is the anti-Kazumi Yuji? Basically. Kazumi Yuji versus Kenji? That'd be pretty interesting, actually. Deciding which to visit first, I catch sight of a familiar banner with a blue pattern border and red text. Lily's stall is as good a place to start as any. Curious as to how it's going, after all the work she and her class have been doing for it. Oh, looks pretty nice. Stepping up to it, I begin to see why the class took so long to organize everything. Easily twice as wide as many of the other stalls, and with equipment for cooking strewn everywhere, it's closer to an outdoor restaurant than a festival event. As a student in front of me takes a bowl of noodles and leaves, I walk up to the counter. The girl behind it seems quite exasperated and asks me to wait a moment before she disappears underneath the counter. Seizing the moment, I take a quick glance around. Steam seems to be rising from everywhere as pots and pans simmer away. Most blind of the students are unpacking ingredients while being helped by someone who is probably the teacher of 3-2. Yuji's like Goku and Kenji's like Yamcha, basically. It doesn't take long to notice Lily among them, talking with the teacher as she quickly counts out the boxes and packets with her fingers. From her expression, the fact that both she and the teacher seem to be in a state of mild confusion appears that there's been some problem in coordination. Before I can stare any longer, the girl behind the counter pops up again, with a look back and ask where the spare change box is. Lily pauses for a moment before she and the girl switch places at the counter and the teacher quickly walks off somewhere.
Sorry about that. We're having a few problems. What would you like?
Takes me a second to remember what I come here for. My eyes quickly dart to the side to read the menu sitting on the counter. Oh, I get some miso soup? We need a visual novel multiverse?
Ah, is that Hisao?
Yep, looks like you're pretty busy. Her face all but confirms it as she drops her waitress facade.
Somewhere along the line, our order got mixed up. We're trying to fix it now, but it looks like we only have half of what we needed.
When serving smaller portions cover over the problem?
It seemed that that's what we'll have to do, though I wish we didn't. The fact that a good half of our class is gone doesn't help either.
Glance behind her to see how many people are actually operating the stall. It couldn't be over about 8. I take it that's why your teacher left.
That's right. She's going to try and round up a few more of our classmates to help.
Hearing the sound of footsteps behind me, I stealthily glance backwards to see an elderly couple taking place in line. I guess I better stop loitering around and chatting. Here's the money for the soup.
Soup, all right. Coming right up.
Kasho's the Nick Fury? No! Freaking, no, it's what's her name? Shigure? The little sister. She's a Nick Fury. Gathering all of the visual novel protagonists together. Alright guys. That's the project. Avengers visual novel. There's gonna be a lot of from Shigure. A lot of Ojo-sama laughing from her. Lily turns and calls for a bowl of soup as I hand over the money for it. Taking the coins in her palm, I can't help but notice how efficiently she counts them out with her long pale fingers. Eventually satisfied that I hand over correct change, she puts it in a small metal tray. It isn't long before the soup is made and carefully handed to her, for which she turns and subsequently passes it to me. Yuji's Captain America? I don't know. I think Yuji would be more Tony Stark. I think Kasho would have to be the Captain America. Thanks. I'll come back to drop off the bowl.
Thank you, Hisao. Oh, there's one other thing. Have you seen Hanako?
Who would be the Hulk? That's a good one. Maybe Tsukihime's Tonoshiki. Amane is the Hulk. Amane is She-Hulk then. Hanako? No, not today. Why? She gives a small sigh of abject disappointment.
It's okay. I was just wondering what she was doing for the festival. You'll come back when you're done, then.
Sure, I'll keep an eye out for Hanako too.
Thank you, Hisao.
Walk off from the stall and find a seat, carefully cradling the steaming wooden bowl in both hands. Compared to the dumplings from before, this is quite nice. A little cool compared to what it probably should be, perhaps. Flavor is enough to cover for that reasonably well. We need to commission fan art for this. As I drink, I can't help but feel somewhat guilty for not being as involved in the festival as the others. Can't really be helped, considering I was dropped into the school only a week ago, but still weighs heavily on my mind. That, and the fact that a few students don't really seem to be enjoying the festival as much as the visitors. Eventually, I finish my bowl and leave for the stall to drop it off. Considering that there seems to be no line at all, I take my time walking up. Hey, no problem, Tom. That happens. Seeing the teacher's mission paid off, there are now over a dozen students helping, and much of the unpacking has been done. Despite most of them seeming quite relaxed as they work, Lily still appears to be somewhat stressed. Lily doesn't look impressed at all, and I can't really blame her. On top of her issues with her stall, she still seems to be worried about Hanako. Can't really help her with the former, so I guess the only way I can help is by trying to take her mind off our shy mutual friend. Placing the bowl back on the counter, I call out to Lily. Hey Lily, don't worry about Hanako. I'll go find her and hang out with her, okay? You see Lily's relief plainly written across her face.
Thanks, Hisao. And if you see anyone else from my class, can you tell them to come back here, please?
Will do. Have a good one. Make sure you take a break, okay?
I will if I can. See you later, Hisao.
Oh, I'm gonna be able to finish tonight? Alright. There you go. Oh, finish the act. Okay. Yeah. I leave Lily in the stall and head out in search of Hanako. In a way, I feel bad for leaving her with the crowds. But even though she was clearly under pressure, can't help but think that she's enjoying herself. The halls are packed with swaying crowds meandering through the festival. If there's one thing I know about Hanako, it's that she's not going to go anywhere near this. With the students showing their friends and family their dorms, I doubt she'll be there either. Following blind intuition, I move against the grain of the crowd. Thankfully, this crowd seems to be slightly less festive than your usual festival crowd. I assume this is out of consideration for the student body. As I force my way through the masses, it doesn't take long for them to thin down to nothingness. With that creepy man. It's not surprising since I am standing before the library. Even the most eager of students don't show anyone this section of the school. As I enter the library, the noise of the festival fades into a dull background noise, and soon I am in the reading area at the rear of the school. Rear of the room. Whoops. Behind one of the partitioned desks, I see the top of a head with straight dark hair catching my eye. Hey, Hanako, I had a feeling I'd find you here. The head jumps a little in shock before slowly peeping over the partition.
Hisao.
Hey, Lily's pretty busy, so she sent me to find you.
Oh, do you want to sit down?
Actually, I am feeling a little hungry. Would you like to get something to eat from one of the stands?
I brought some food, so...
I shouldn't be surprised, but it was worth a try. Expecting her to go outside today was a long shot. How about we eat in the tea room? I passed it by on the way here and no one was around. We can make some food there and it'll be a little more comfortable. What do you say?
Sure, let's go.
Hanako closes her book and puts it away with deliberate practice movements. Good to go?
Yeah.
We walk side by side from the library to the tea room. As expected, there's barely a soul around. If it weren't for the murmurs through the walls, you wouldn't tell that there was a huge festival going on outside. Hanako carries her bag in both hands and focuses on just the floor ahead of her. Every now and again, she seems to break her pace a little and steps in slightly shorter paces. The first time it happened, I gave it no mind, but I soon noticed that she does it on a regular basis. Are you alright? She stops dead in her tracks.
What?
I don't know. It looked like you were tripping on something. A pink blush rises into her cheeks as her gaze returns to the floor.
It's nothing.
Oh, is she avoiding like the cracks on the floor? You know, when you say nothing like that, people are inspired to ask further questions. For a second, I don't think she's going to answer. For her to leave it be, I almost set off to walk again when...
It's, a game.
Game?
Do you see the floor here?
The bizarre question, the floor looks just like any other floor, covered in those tiles made up from squares of linoleum. Nothing noteworthy. Well, yes, what about it?
Sometimes, when there's no one around, I only step on the dark ones.
Hanako's voice trails off as her explanation continues until I can barely hear her voice over the roaring silence of the empty hall. Darker ones. Shuffling her feet, Hanako points to the toe of her shoe at a tile that is barely a shade darker than the others.
Like these ones.
Oh, right. So these ones are no good. Point out a nearby tile.
Yeah, something like that.
Oh, I see. Do you play this game a lot? Hanako shakes her head. Just when the halls are empty? She nods. Well then, no point in stopping. I'm beginning to get really hungry. She nods again, this time with a little more enthusiasm. Well then, let's go. We set off down the hall, and this time I notice that Hanako's paying a little less attention to the floor. I wonder, just how lonely does someone have to be to come with a game like that? What? I did that all the time! I loved it. Before I realize what I'm doing, I find myself trying to aim each step so it lands on the correct tiles. See? There you go, Hisao. I think he sounds slightly insensitive. Anyway, the noise of the festival is slightly louder inside the tea room. The breeze coming through the open window makes it worth it. Without thinking, I walk to the windowsill and inhale deeply. Sometimes forget how clean the air is here compared back to home.
Would you like some tea?
That'd be great, thanks. It occurs to me that this is the first time I've been alone with Hanako without her trying to be somewhere else. Turning from the window, I watch as she makes a simple pot of tea and arranges some sandwiches onto a plate. I've seen her do this before a number of times, but this time she seems slightly different. It's like she's calm. Eventually, she places a small tray on the table and pours 2 cups of tea. The fresh scent of brewed tea mingles with the breeze. For a second, I feel like I'm the only one in the world. I think I know why you like this room now.
I don't know what you mean.
Well, there are quite a few people out there, but in here it's like another world. You can pretend that there's no one around for miles.
You're right. It's like the world has forgotten this room. And because of that, you can forget about the outside.
That would be appealing in some cases. As far as I can tell, conventional bullying doesn't exist in this school. But then again, I haven't seen a single person talk to Hanako besides Lily. If ignored by the world, a place where you can forget its existence would hold a special appeal. That's a good point. It's like this room gives you some kind of complete freedom.
Yeah. Say, do you play chess?
Hell yeah! I mean, what? Chess? I played it a bit, I guess. Yeah, that's like the line I give after going, hell yeah! Oh, chess, yeah. Yeah, I played a little, sometimes, whatever. Yeah, totally. Oh, yeah, this tea's delicious. Oh, yeah. Anyway, I take it you've played before.
A little.
Without saying anything more, Hanako moves to one of the cupboards and digs out a small chess set. Because every room in this place... You dabble in some chess. It seems that every room with main characters that has a board game in it. Interesting.
Do you want?
Sure, why not? I cut her off, but she doesn't seem to mind. We arrange the pieces, and before long we are sending pawns charging to their inevitable fates. I take my time and intently examine each move and its consequences, nostalgia for the game taking second place to the matters at hand. For a time, the game is a lengthy battle of attrition. I spot an opening and tear a line in her defense. A few moves later, a king is cornered by several of my pieces. Checkmate. You're not bad at this, are you? An honest appraisal. Her technique is pretty good, but several times I was able to exploit her lack of prediction. Pick up a piece and examine it. It looks relatively new, yet worn for its age.
I guess not.
Does Lily play? The absence of Hanako's answer caused me to think about my question.
A bit. This is the first time I played against someone other than her,
Or? She cuts herself off abruptly, leaving the answer hanging in the air. Someone she knew before coming to Yamaku, maybe. Well then, I'm honored to have played against you.
Can we play again?
She asked as if she were asking me to cut off my own hands. The spirit of competition's gotten into her. Everyone's choosing it. Sure, though don't expect me to go easy on you this time. Not that I was before, mind. She seems to appreciate the competitive tone.
Same here.
As we are setting up the pieces, there's a noise at the door.
Good afternoon. Lily.
Oh, hey there, Lily. Are you finished?
You both are here. Wonderful. At any rate, our teacher managed to round up some extra help, so I was able to leave. Have you been here since you left?
Pretty much. We've just been playing a bit of chess.
Would you like a cup of tea? Actually, I think it may be a good idea to go outside for a little while.
The instant drop in Hanako's face shows her objection to this plan, even though she says nothing. I feel strangely compelled to voice what is plainly in view of her face, but Lily can't see. I kind of think we should just stay here.
Really? It's so crowded here that... I was thinking we should leave the school and head for the local tea house. You mean the Shanghai? Of course. With everyone at the festival, it should be practically empty.
Tea house. Tea house. Oh wait, that's right. He sounds like a coffee person. Uncultured swine. Throws coffee in his face. Even though I like coffee, so whatever.
Oh, that's right. You probably don't know of it. There is a tea house not far from here, which we go to every so often.
Sounds like a plan. Hanako, what do you think? Hanako jumps a little at being forced into the conversation. At least she seems less distraught than before.
If it's the Shanghai, I think it'll be nice. Well then, it's settled. Let's be on our way.
Hanako and I rise from the table in our preempted chess game. Before I can do anything, Hanako has poured the pieces into a small container and placed the board away. Look at her Jojo pose. Who? Lily? Shoujo! Looks like we're ready now. Please lead on. Hanako moves to Lily's side and we venture onto the school's corridors. The pair leads me through a series of unfamiliar doors and we emerge on the side of the building opposite the festival grounds. Insulated by the heavy stone of the building, the noise from the crowd has faded to a murmur. You sense plot incoming? Fair. Strange, I thought that most people would be beginning to leave by now. Hanako had a JoJo pose for a second there? Fair.
They're probably here to view the fireworks.
Fireworks?
Yes, apparently the school puts on quite a show. A lot of people come from town just to watch them.
Lee's decision to leave the school grounds seems to make sense now. Hanako would probably have a hard time with the whole town descending onto the school, or ascending as the case may be. For the second time since arriving at Yamaku, I find myself walking down this road with Lily. Only now that I can barely hear the incessant noise of the festival do I realize how loud it was. I can hear my ears ringing slightly in the still evening air as we recover from the day's assault on them. Like how my ears ring all the time from the background music's noise level. Woo! Loud. It's good music, but loud. Hanako clings to Lily, but still manages to guide her along the road. That, and avoiding the occasional gaze from curious pedestrians, appears to be completely sap her constitution. She rarely raises her focus from the ground in front of her, nor does she utter a word. Lily, on the other hand, maintains her prim and proper persona, just as she does in school. It's obvious she purposely puts effort into her appearance rather than hiding it as Hanako does. It's striking how different they are in their way of holding themselves outside of Yamaku's grounds. That said, it's obvious in both their cases that they do visibly change. Inside Yamaku, everyone is special, which negates the specialness of it. But once we venture outside the school gates, we are returned to the status of outsider and generic labels. Especially when we are still in school uniform. It's like hanging a sign around your neck challenging people to figure out what is wrong with you. I'm surprised that so many of the students keep it on. Then again, with canes and wheelchairs common among the students, I guess it's not really that much of a giveaway. Or maybe I'm the only one that sees this as a stigma. Maybe you get used to it after a time like any other school uniform. I actually turned the entire game sound down already, Tom. It's already at half volume on top of the lower decibel of my desktop volume. So it's already pretty down. And that's why I don't want to turn it down more, because then you guys might not be able to hear it. The tea house seems fairly standard from the outside, just an ordinary building with typical signs and decorating the entrance. It looks like the type of place you'd walk by without a thought, just another generic cafe in a sea of thousands. If Hanako hadn't steered Lily into the entrance, I would have continued on down the road without ever knowing that it existed. Inside the tea house, it takes on a more traditional feel. Everything seems to have been made from the same lump of timber, from the counter and benches to the high back booths and around the walls. The most striking feature of the room is the lack of life. I think I can faintly hear something bubbling away in the background, but otherwise the room is silent. Also, the background music, some of the songs are louder than others, is what it comes down to. And that's why. Without any direction, we simply wait near the entrance, politely obeying the "please wait to be seated" sign. Is this place closed or something? The sound of a chair falling over echoes throughout the empty room, and a head shoots up from inside a booth. Oh my god, it's Yuko!
I wasn't asleep, and welcome to Shanghai.
Yuko, dressed in a pastel apron, clutching a menu, rushes to greet us. Her misaligned glasses and ruffled hair cast suspicion on her previous statement. Whether she was asleep or not isn't the first question that leaps to my mind. You work here now? What happened to the library?
What? Lily? Hisao? Welcome to the Shanghai.
Yuko, still waking up, jerks into a violent bow, dislodging her glasses in the process.
What? My glasses.
As they pick up her spectacles off the floor, Lily offers an explanation.
Yuko works here part-time as well as at the library. It's one of the reasons we like to come here.
Yuko takes her glasses from my hands, shakily putting them back on.
Yes, that's right, thanks. Shall I show you to your table? There's no one else here, so you can choose your table and order whatever you like. There may be a delay, as we'll have to make it myself. It's alright, Yuko. Just a pot of black tea and a plate of sandwiches will be fine. Right, I'll get right onto that.
I'm not sure if my Yuko voice is the same from last time. Yuko hurries off back to the back of the cafe, leaving us still standing at the entrance. She pushes the swinging half doors open before realizing she hasn't seated us.
I'm sorry. Please sit wherever you like. I'll be right back.
Following her advice, I lead Lily to the nearest booth as Hanako follows. I like that sitting. It's just their portraits of As I begin to sit next to Lily, I realize how appropriate this place is for Hanako. The high back booths totally separate you from the rest of the room. It doesn't look like it gets all that many customers. All the furnishings, from the cushions on the benches to the condiment holders, look dated but aren't overly worn. I wonder if Lily deliberately selects a place like this to take Hanako. She seems like the type that would go to lengths to cater to Hanako's unique predicament.
So Isao, I didn't know you played chess.
Well, not very well, but I do know how to play.
I suppose the obvious question would now be, who won?
This Yuko voice is good. It might be the most fitting. Thanks. Hopefully I'll be able to maintain it. Lily's innocent smile makes me hesitate. I don't really want to look like I'm lording over my victory over Hanako.
Hisao did.
Yes, but not by much. Damn, saying that out loud makes me feel like I've done something terrible.
Well done, Hisao. You've accomplished something I've only ever failed at.
I like that pose that looks like Lily's like it's like kind of like she's bringing her hand to her cheek, but it looks like she's trying to like belt something out. Or thanks. I haven't played in ages, so it felt good to play again.
Yes, it did.
Hanako fidgets with her hair a little and looks away as she replies, but a small smile emerges. It's a little more extreme of a reaction than I expected, but still kind of cute in that Hanako way. Throws me a little off guard, and only Yuko's cataclysmic re-entry shocks me back into conversation. Lily's like, I'm praying for that girl. Are you alright there, Yuko? Do you need a hand?
I'm fine. I have to do this properly, it's my job.
Concentration plays across her face while she stares at the tray in her hands, so simply looking at its contents will hold them in place. Sadly, this doesn't prove all that effective. Cups and saucers slowly dance around, occasionally clattering as they collide with one another. Taking great care, Yuko sets the tray down on the table with only the subtlest of crashes.
There, see?
Well done?
Thank you, Yuko.
Yuko's head rockets downward in a distinctive bow before answering.
You're very welcome. Would you like to join us? There's something else I'd like to discuss about that recent order, if I may.
That's right. Lily and Yuko were discussing a pile of books when I first met Hanako. Something about Lily helping with the Braille.
Yes. We didn't get the chance to go through them, did we?
Yuka hastily sits down next to Hanako. Apparently her dedication to this job only goes as far as her concentration. Once it is broken, she suddenly loses it.
I'll be in the library tomorrow afternoon if you'd like to try again. That sounds perfect. I'll meet you there after classes. Lily. Oh dear, that's right. Tomorrow is Monday. How could I have forgotten?
I'm starting to feel a little left out of the loop here. Then again, that's to be expected. I have been here for barely a week, so it's impossible to know everyone's schedule.
Well, perhaps we could come to some other arrangement. Yuko, will you be in the library later in the week? Maybe, but this is already overdue. And there are some things I needed. This might be a problem.
Lily ponders for a second before discovering the answer.
I wonder, might we be able to enlist the help of another if need be?
To do what? You lost me quite some time ago. Being volunteered for something without even having the slightest idea what is going on isn't really my thing. And here I thought I had finally escaped the clutches of the student council and their repeated attempts to recruit me.
Oh, of course. The other day, I was helping Yuko sort the new Braille books in the library. But Hanako and I usually go shopping on Monday afternoons. It's quieter on that day than on the weekends. Last week, we couldn't go because I was busy with the festival. I managed to slip away later in the week, but Hanako couldn't make it.
Well, since I can't read Braille, I'm assuming you'd like me to go shopping with Hanako.
Correct. You were a great help to me the other day.
I think I can handle that, Hanako. What do you think?
If you wouldn't mind.
Of course not. I'm still not familiar with all the stores in the area, so it sounds like a good idea.
Okay. Now that we have that arranged, shall we have some tea?
So now that I realize our tea has been sitting idly by all this time, getting no hotter.
It's my fault. Let me pour that for you.
Yuko reaches out with shaking hands, but I intercept her. She looks in no state to be handling hot liquids. It's alright, I've got it. Since you've already made the tea and sandwiches, you filled your waitress duties, right?
I guess.
Yuko relaxes a little, but still watches eagerly as I share out the assortment. They're about to bite into the sandwich. A low, loud rumble can be heard. We'll go flash of light from the outside. Oh no, they're shooting us! Ah! Just kidding, it's fireworks, guys.
I take it the show has started.
In fact, it's so bright that the inside of the cafe, even though we're indoors, is changing colors and lights like the fireworks are going off in the tea house. Only now, looking outside, I realize that dusk has come and gone, leaving us in the peak of twilight. Sparking tracers arc upwards, ready to explode in the floral shape of fireworks.
Let's go watch. Oh, sorry, Lily. Please don't miss the show on my account. From what I've heard, this isn't a bad location to watch it from.
Oh, we got a CG, guys! Yeah, CG! CG! Anyway, with the exception of Lily, we rush to the window of the small tea house to watch the show. The strobe of colored lights play across Hanako and Yuko's smiling faces. And for a second, I forget to look out the window. In this totally new world, there are a few things that don't change. I think that's why the school makes such a fuss over this festival. A chance to show the similarities between everyone. The show is over all too quickly. Fireworks are expensive, even for the most well-funded schools. Before we return to our tea and sandwiches, Hanako turns to me.
Thanks for today. And tomorrow.
That's okay. I don't think I could have faced those crowds either. On days like this, it's more relaxing to spend some time away from everyone, don't you think?
Yeah.
Anyway, we've been delaying this tea for far too long now. Let's get back. Best CG of the root bar one? Okay.
Sure.
Return to the booth and our light meal.
That sounded impressive. Bigger than last year's, at least. Yeah, it was great. I've never seen them put on such a show. It gets better every year. I'm afraid, however, that during that time, the tea has gone cold. Oh no! Let me make some more! This is my fault!
Calm down, Yuko. It's nobody's fault. Take a sip from my cup just to prove the point. Tea isn't too bad cool anyway. It's like an iced tea.
Really?
Yes, really. If you add a bit of sugar, it's kind of nice.
Are you sure?
I'm positive. Now why don't you sit down and we'll finish this together.
Okay.
Yuko doesn't seem convinced but sits down regardless. She carefully measures out about 5 teaspoons of sugar and adds them to her tea. I said a bit of sugar. And you literally just put 5 teaspoons. 5 teaspoons. Miss Yuko. If I may be so bold, I believe that 5 teaspoons of sugar is a lot! Not a bit! A bit too much is how I'd put it. You know? Sane!
I know, but I like my tea sweet anyway.
Well, sweet tea is good. I don't know. Sweet tea is also good. Alright. You win this argument! You win this round, Yuko! Sit back to my Coke Zero. Curiously, I peer into her cup. As expected, hardly any of the sugar dissolves in the cold liquid. She stirs it twice before upturning the cup and drinking the contents, sugar and all, in a single mouthful. Oh my god! That's beautiful.
You're right. That's not bad at all.
Good. I look back to Lily and Hanako, both of whom had finished their meal as they witnessed Yuko's personality in action. Not wanting to hold anyone up, I used her tactic and finished the remainder of my tea in a single swallow. Well then, seems we're all finished.
Should we head back now, or do we want seconds?
Yuko's expression shows that this is quite clearly not a good idea. I think that it would be best if we got back soon. We do have to get back before curfew after all.
Oh, that is a good point. I'll meet you tomorrow, Yuko. I'll be looking forward to it, Lily. Goodbye, everyone.
We make our way out of the small tea house and into the dark of the night. Lily and Hanako once again take point, but under the cover of darkness, Hanako seems slightly less stressed than she did on the trip here. We move against the occasional group of people emptying the school grounds, while Hanako seems to lead us along a few minor roads, avoiding the bulk of the crowd. Outside the dorms, the school seems strangely quiet when compared to the noise of the day. Well then, thank you both for today. I think I learned a lot.
You're most welcome, but I'm afraid that I really must be going. Today's been a long day.
That's right, Lily spent all of today on her feet. I can imagine that walking outside of the school would be pretty tiring for her. I feel a pang of guilt as I remember that I was probably the only one in the school that got up around 10 this morning. Sure thing. Well, I'll see you both tomorrow. Good night.
Good night, Hisao. Night.
The girls returned to their dorm and I to mine. Actually, now that I consider it, today tired me out as well. What? Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Oh, that's so cool. So Act 1. Oh my god. So Act 1 literally is, you have to choose your route in Act 1. The rest of the acts is playing it out. That is so hot. So awesome. Two of them contain spoilers to a degree. Well, You know, that was a lot to process because I was so shocked. But that's pretty cool. All right, let's drop that. Save right there. Main menu. Yes. And there it is. Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! I like that. I like that. That's actually really cool. That's really cool. That is really cool. I like that. So Act 1 ends with you choosing the route of the girl you're going to go down, which is why they introduce everybody. And then you, I guess you naturally progress down their route, and you have to make the few remaining correct decisions to get their endings. I could rewatch the cinematic as well. Cinema! Oh, there is the opening and the Hanako one. Okay. I guess Hanako's there too. Jukebox. Interesting. Interesting. Wow, that's pretty cool. Hide and Seek, Act 2. You know what? I think we're going to have to save that for next time. That was pretty hype. Not gonna lie. I'm looking forward to this. That was pretty cool. I can't wait to see the other girls' cinematics as well. And I can't wait to go further down this route. But no, that was pretty awesome. I didn't think that. And I'm not gonna lie. This has a lot more choices in it than it feels more like this traditional yes, Tom, I can see why it's your favorite VN. It does feel more like a traditional visual novel where you're getting all the endings and stuff, and like you have choices that impact certain things and stuff. I'm not sure if it does it like I know it's made with Renpi, but I'm not sure if it does it like the way that Type Moon had a relationship like meter, where if you did it, where you could make some choices one way or another, but ultimately you had to choose some correct choices and otherwise get like those relationship bars up to a certain point to get true endings or good endings. So I'm not sure how it does it, but I think it's just based off of it's probably just based off a spreadsheet, right? In this case, like you made this choice, this choice, this choice, this choice, you're going down this route. And if you made these choices, you're getting the true ending versus a good ending versus a bad ending. I'm assuming is how it works. So that's pretty cool. I like it. I'm liking this very much. I can't wait to see more of it. But I'm gonna cut it off here for now. I think ending Act 1 is a great place to cut it off. Only took 3 live streams. I know those 4. Second one doesn't count. That's 10 minutes of live stream. But yeah, no, Tom, I can see why this is your favorite VN. And I think it's shaping up to be a very good one because the music's good. The music's good, and I you know what? I think the only problem is Hisawa himself. I don't like Hisawa as much as like Yuji in the Fruit of Grisaya. I think that's the main difference. Like Yuji had some character to him. Like Hisawa seems a lot more kind of like laid back in that regard. But anyway, we're gonna cut it off here now. Thank you very much for joining me for Visual Thursdays. No, like we didn't even get to the hour and a half, the 2.5 hour mark. But you know what? Sometimes it's a good place to cut it off. Also, give me time to work on stuff. So I will see you guys next week for more Visual Thursdays or any other live streams I do. Have a good night, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you. Peace.